Okay, hello. This is a quick tutorial on how to use Nomad Sculpt for a quick modeling. Transferring this into the screen into Windows, so there's a bit of lag when I'm working on it, but it should be all right. So let's start. First of all, let me just turn on my indicator. Yeah, indicator. Okay. So first of all, the material on this like little sphere is matcap. Usually, when you start, is this like a lit with different HDRI that you can apply on, but I can see better with matcap. My my autosave is on, as you can see here. The autosave is on, and when I save it, you can save it with a character modeling. And next thing is for the background, I just click on this little here which says background, and change the color to what you want, maybe a little bit more bluish. And the grid you see on the ground, this grid, you can turn it on here, on and off. Okay, so that's the start. Next thing that I'm gonna do, I click on this little image icon, and then turn on reference image, and then this is the image that I'm gonna work on, which is a image of a ghost, a little cute character modeled, designed by Christopher Ominga, which I really like modeling his stuff. When you bring an image, usually it's right in the middle, like here, big. So you just tap on this transform, and then like transform it to the corner, and then tap, and you're ready. If you study this model, you will see that it looks like a big tube that travels up, and it has two eyes like discs, and then two hands which are like two appendages, like two spheres that is blended to the body. So let me just go to the front view. For the body, maybe I go to this left view. Here on this tab on top, you will see the hierarchy of the objects. And if I delete this, I can start with a new tool, which is a tube. So I tap here on the top right corner, and then select tube, and then I start click. When I select that, actually I'm going to go to the left, and then tap on this path tool, and then click, and then click, and then few clicks. So something like this. It's very editable, by the way, so don't worry if things go wrong for you. And then once you're done, tap on this little green next to it. You get your tube. Then you click on this radius thing that gives you radius on all of this. So you can start like kind of making it thick on all the sections of it. Actually, we want a little thing here, so maybe more here, much more here, more here. Don't worry about that thing that end, like a lot chubby here, and yeah, something like this. But then here there's a big issue here, so which I think we can get rid of it with less dots. So you grab one of these dots and drop it on here, on the one next to it. Maybe, I don't know, or maybe I undo that one. Maybe we just do a bit of movement. So how we can resolve this. Oh, okay, now sort of resolved that one. How about this one? By the way, I just want to make sure everything is symmetrical, so we can press the mirror, so we make sure that everything is not the mirror here, but I can make sure that the camera is orthographic and on the left, so everything would be orthographic to the left. Okay. It's symmetrical, but like I really like this to be thick on this part, and this one higher up. So I am going to, and this one like kind of chubby as well. But then we have this big issue here, which is right up there. Oh yeah, it's gonna be better to be here. We see this issue. Let me just drop this together, so we just get like a little tiny this thing at the end, and then okay. I possibly like when you are done with a curve, you see that it's not a very if I look from top, not all of them are we can snap them. Snap not working here, but we just want to make sure that everything is right lined up to the center. You can validate this and then use a kind of move brush and turn on symmetry. So what we want to see, like if I hold symmetry, you see that line in the middle? That's symmetrical. So that's basically symmetrical on X direction, which is front. That's what we want. We want this to be symmetrical on X direction. And if I like grab part of it, we have to see this moving on both direction. So when I use let me just make this brush thinner, and then it's symmetrical, as you can see. And also when I press smooth, I can smooth out the part that are a bit challenging, but at the same time, if I hold like, actually I really like to work with very big brush here. There's a way to make sure that this line is always there. Show the line. Yeah, that gives me a better chance of working symmetrically. And then holding shift, make it thinner and nicer. Okay. Then I go small, and then I start to just like bulge this area, maybe, until like we get that little kind of structure in the back. Okay, but you see that it doesn't blend well, so I'm not too fussy about stuff, because I can sort it out and I can kind of hold shift and soften it. I'm gonna undo a lot of things because I don't want to validate this too early. So if I go back, because I need these, so just wanted to show you it's possible to get like nice result. So why I don't want to validate, so for example, I want to create a hole here, and then like once I added that, the whole thickness, I want it to be thick. So it's a tube with a hole in it, like it's like an actual tube. And then there are chances of, now that we are confident that like we can build up, actually, what about going to the left, making sure that it's orthographic, which is, so we achieve what we want from side. Something like this. Okay. Then I will carry on and make other parts of the body. Actually, it's shorter, this creature, so I'm gonna just drop this together so it becomes shorter, because then we're gonna add these cuts later on. Okay. So I don't validate here, so I don't put like push on this validate button on top. I don't do that. Instead, I go and create cylinder. A cylinder here. I can grab gizmo. I can tap snap, so it snaps 90 degree, and from like this biggest circle, helping me to just so I use this, and then I turn off the snap, move it up. I can have two of this by pressing this mirror, and then we get like a nice for glasses. This is where the glasses are supposed to be. They're smaller, of course, not too much, a little, and closer to the head. And also these two could be, when I look inside the cylinder options, there is a way of making it. So let me turn off the gizmo, then say that again we need some holes, so that would be the frames. Maybe much thinner frames like this, and then so here things gets nicer. So that's the body. Let me just rename them because that helps me. This is the optics frame. So I can clone this. Suddenly I get a cloned version of that with the history on it. So I turn off the hole for this, and this is optics glasses, and this one could be of course we want it to be smaller, like a little smaller, like not much, and also thinner, again not much, just a touch thinner. Then I can again duplicate this and clone this, and now say these are eyes, and then we get a duplicated version, scaled down like this, and positioned. Let's make it thicker here. Okay, these are the eyes. There are two hands, so I add two spheres, and the spheres mirror them. So once mirrored, you just tap on gizmo. If you tap it and it doesn't show up, tap it 2 times. So that's where the hands are supposed to be. They're like little tiny cute hands. Scale up, smaller actually, rise up and out, more out, and then position them somewhere here. Okay, let's say we're happy with what we have so far. So now what I do, it's time to just I tap on the body. I don't need gizmo, so that's why I tap on the gizmo. And now it's time to validate the body. So we don't need this tube kind of attributes anymore. So I can validate this. So if I turn on wire, you see that, oh, this is the like wireframe structure of the tube. It's a bit coarse, like it's not high res, but that's fine. If you compare it with hands, this is like much lower res. It's fine at this stage, but we will increase the resolution shortly. But before doing that, I use move tool and I make sure the symmetry is on. So when the symmetry would be on, different parts move together. So it's time to just do some adjustment as we did before. Every now and then you can tap on smooth and smooth some areas like here. Oh, this is like a very sharp area, so smoothing gonna take a lot of things out. I wish this wrinkle we see here would have been here, as I see on the reference photo. Can I move it? I don't think so. So that's why I just use move tool, like larger brush, and make sure symmetry is on, so I would be, oh yeah, actually I can sort of move something up. Yeah, and that's gonna be smaller too. Okay, so here, yeah, and then hold shift, or if you have keyboard like me, you can hold shift. If not, just tap on this little smooth on the side, like here. You can hold and tap smooth with your thumb, and then a smooth, and then release it, something like this, which would be like an equivalent of holding shift. So as we don't have too much time, so let's leave with what we've got, with a bit of maybe better deformations on some areas. But what you can do, click on this like bricks one, and select, let me just turn on wireframe so you see what I'm doing. Tap here, and then subdivide like maybe 2 times. So now you see that it has a better resolution. Now I want to blend, turn off, blend these two. So if I select body, and these are arms, right? I can validate mirroring of the arms. So there are 3 options, them being different, or like join children, they become like 2 objects, 1 object, keep instances, the mirroring still exists. I don't need mirroring anymore, so I can like make them 1 and call them arms. I select arms, I select body, so you see that both of them are checked. Then I click on this voxelizing, and you like drag on this resolution. You don't want it to be too low res, or too low res, or too high res, like this. Something in between, like maybe like this would be nice. So remesh it, and then they become 1 single unified object. If you look at here, it's only body here now, and then you get like this kind of coarse areas, which if I turn on wireframe, you will see that. So it's time to like smoothen that area. Actually, I can do some blending here as well with the hand and front as well. A little bit of smoothing on both arms. So it's like you see that it nicely blended in. I think I need a bit of smoothing here around, nicer. I want to just pinch on the screen. Okay, cool. So let's move on to the eyeglasses, and I can like validate each one of them, and also the mirroring. For the mirroring, I would say that these are keep instances, because I want them to stay mirrored, right? So you see that eyes, optics, and glasses. So let's work on the eyes. So this is like very flat. I want it to be like a little bit inflated, so I can tap on it, grab the inflate brush. So if I drag, you see that this is the inflation. I don't want that to be too strong, but bigger, maybe a little like that. Then hold shift and then drag on it. Oh, it's so wobbly. Let's go back. Thinner. Actually, the brush can be adjusted to have a much softer kind of head. Yeah. Then a little bit of bulging out would be nice. Then holding shift and then drag around it. Now it's nice. Then I hold move and move it actually smaller. Okay, this is a much cuter eye than what we had. We can gizmo it in a little bit more. So what about the bridge between different parts of the... We still have this tube tool which we can select and path between here and here. Oh no, and then click here, so we get a bridge here which the radius would be thin and inside, more inside, and one in the middle. Validate. We don't need too much of attributes. Bridge, tube again, and then path. Not this, undo that. Oh, where this one is located. Oh, it's part of eyes. Okay, so you see that here this tube has become part of eyes, so that's my fault. Actually, it's a bit of bug for this program. So I select the body, I add a box, so I come out of those layers and structures, and then I use tube tool and then path, click and drag, and let's build it. Here still is under. We need to add a new object, which we just did. We need to select the tube and then path and then drag. Oh, I should have not clicked on it. Oh yeah, just add it. Sometimes it becomes tricky to make an object that is not part of what we see. So now I have this tube here, which I can call it optics, let's say bridge, right? Let's do, actually it could be much nicer here, and validate. Of course we don't need this. But we need another tube which starts from here, a path from here to here. Let's see if it is, yep, it's separate, so that's optics. I don't know, arms. So it's it must be much thinner, and that point's going to be out, and a couple of few points here, and this is going to be going inside like that. And we're going to mirror it so we get on both sides. But you see that the other side, it guts into the body, so when we validate this and then go to validate the mirroring of it, we just say on instance, so then this handle would be separate. So I can take it out. So what about mouth? So for the mouth, we can use mask technique. So I can paint a mask on the mouth. Actually, I have to tap on the body and then start. You see that it's not high quality. Even if I go very thin, you still see that you don't get the quality you're looking for. So it's fine that like while you're working, every now and then you just, oops, let me just undo that. You tap on here and voxelize it in more detail sometimes. I don't like this like kind of contoured shapes. Okay. I might, before voxelizing it, I might add a bit of resolution to it. Subdivide. It's too dense now, but that's fine. So what I do, I start painting on the mask. So I just paint a beautiful mouth here. Actually, I don't want this mouth to be symmetrical, so I make it 10 off the symmetry one. Doesn't need to be super accurate because I would like kind of blend some parts. Okay, so you can invert your mask and you can use the gizmo tool to push this part in like this, and then go back to mask and clear it, and then let's look at the wiring system. I think let's see if we go back to the move tool, and then this is what I am afraid of. So if I start to like soften this, you see that it suddenly starts to lose that structure of them we created, right? Very fast. But you can, in these cases, you can remesh, voxelize your geometry as you want, remesh it, and then once the remesh is over, and then start to kind of, now you see that like those edges are much nicer saved. This symmetry line, if it bothers you, you can turn it off. show the line. You can turn it off. Okay, that's a cute mouth now. Maybe inside of it we need a bit more smoothing, holding shift or tapping on the smooth and smooth that out, or use the smooth brush. Okay, so let's add a mouth or a tongue. We can fast here around. Tiny little tongue. Scale it a bit as well. Okay. What about these parts? You can grab the. Let's make it a little bit what's called. Let me just tap on here and just grab the move tool. A bit uneven, like you can start like move parts around along the normal, and then maybe, and then what we do, we use trim tool, which is a very helpful tool. Let me just do one here too. Okay, this is trim tool, and you can draw anything you want, like using this lasso or line or rectangle or anything, right? You can use anything you want, and it cuts things in a very interesting way. Oh God. If you see, this has been cut. Okay. What I want from the trim tool, let me just find my angle, is this one, the lasso, and I just want to cut it like this, and a little bit like this here, a little bit like this here, maybe some cuts here. Okay, so then I have some cuts on the body that I can use. Actually there could be more in the back. Okay. And then I can start holding shift and clean them up. Of course, the geometry on these areas will be very challenging for the rigging or like skin weighting, because possibly there will be non-manifolded geometries in these areas. But you can, while holding shift, you can relax some polygons in these areas. And also we definitely will retopologize stuff in our okay, let's see. It looks nice on this angle, but terrible from this angle. We possibly may need some cuts from this angle. I'm not happy very much on these parts, so I might use the clay and start like kind of shape them. Use clay and move tool and clay here. Add some clay on top of them and these areas, and then hold shift and smooth. I could use inflate tool as well. You know what? I just want to cut all of this with polygon. And then I'm gonna grab this area, move them down, like little by little towards the normal surface. So if you see the some weird movement, you can turn off this normal, so you have a bit of freedom now. But like it moves in all directions, not in a normal map direction. So then I paint that, soften that up, and soften this part out. So there are all different ways to get around that. This is still not the best, so if I use the move tool with a very large brush, not that large, like I still can okay. There is this mask tool as well, that you can mask an area. So for example, I can mask this area and this area, and this and this and this area. Then I invert my mask, use gizmo as we did for the mouth, and pull that down, and let's go back to mask and clear it and grab the move tool we like, and starts to blend them with the rest. They give those sharper cuts to us. Anyway, I can spend more time for the rest, but it's all refinement. But now what I want to tell, actually, let me just do a bit of realignment from this angle to make it a little bit more relatable. So I don't do the coloring here, I don't do the retopology here because we're gonna do it in Maya. So like you could just say, let me just go back to the lighting. You could select, tap on different parts, so like let's say these two eyes, that one, and hold shift this, that one, and then go to the paintbrush, let me just select paintbrush, and then say that this is going to be dark, right? And then press paint all. Then I don't know, the frame, paintbrush, the frame is gonna be dark blue, and paint all that, and carry on and paint parts. But the issue is that we have to redo all of this, right? So it doesn't make sense that we do it here. So what we do, we export it into Maya, and then we do UV. So you just tab on this folder, and then object, and then export to a cloud drive. I possibly export it into my OneDrive or so I would be able to download it at in my computer.